We meet here in somber times, in a world that has gone mad with violence and hate, where people are struggling to survive, even as the Palestinians are being massacred in a terrible, unbelievable orgy of violence, where man has turned monster. Writers like those in the Goa Writers Group, writers all over the world, then have a special responsibility to unite with words of love and peace. Hugo Hamilton, an Irish writer, he makes personal sense to me when he said, maybe your country is only a place you make up in your mind, something you dream about and sing about. Maybe it's not a place at all on the map, but just a story of people and places you visit, full of books and films you have been to. I'm walking on the wall and no one can stop me. And to bring us this love, this diversity, we have two members of the Goa Writers Group to start this launch off, Pragya Bhagat and Rachna Patni. Celia. You have all of 5 minutes.
Thank you for attending the launch. Actually, I won't be able to hold it. That's the problem. So we'll be starting off with a song. It's a folk song by Kavi Gorakhnath that I reference in my essay in the anthology, which I urge all of you to buy and to read. This particular folk song talks about bodies of water. It talks about an upside-down esoteric world where fishes climb tamarind trees and rabbits become hunters and bulls give milk. So it's a world where those who seek shall find. So that's what the song is about.
And so when I found out that Pragya was going to sing this wonderful song, I was inspired to whirl to it. Whirling belongs to Kabir as much as it belongs to Krishna. It belongs to Radha as much as it belongs to Rumi. And today, as we all wear aboli flowers, I want to dedicate the whirling to Goddess Lairai and Our Lady of Milagres, the two sisters who still send coconut oil and aboli to each other on their feast days. Goddesses we revere, who are also related, of course, to water bodies. So we can only belong through love. That's the message. Thank you.
और किसके ला
That was so beautiful. You discover that your longings are universal longings, that you are not lonely and isolated from anyone. You belong. Scott Fitzgerald was referring directly to the world of literature. In Goa, we had 98-year-old Victor Ranjan Ribeiro, Jose Lorenzo, Bhai Mauzo, and so many others who have actually set the way, and the contributors of the anthology today and yesterday, who have also shown the path and who are working today to make sure that we do not derail. We have two of the contributors now who will speak to us. There's Edith Furtado, can I call you up? And also Sonia Gomes after her.
Well, I'm given 2 minutes, and I'm very conscious of that. So in 2 minutes, I'll try to tell you what is it that, what is it that made me write. And that this anthology, someone asked me just now, are they all short stories? No, they are not. They are our expressions, I would say, whatever we feel about and what makes this Goanness. Now, why do we speak about Goanness as something special? Maybe because we have a different history, and we come from a very different history, like from the rest of India. And coming to my own essay or article or whatever, the title of my essay is Goincho Sahib Tu Konanzo. Whose are you, Lord of Goa? Because we are talking of belongingness, ways of belonging. And it was Vivek who suggested I write about the Goincho Sahib. So when he suggested, I thought it wasn't a good idea because so much has been said about him. But then he said, nothing interesting has been said about him. I don't know if I've said anything interesting, but I have said what I thought was important within the word limit. And so that everyone knows, because now he's a mythical figure, St. Francis Xavier. He's a mythical figure almost. So I wanted to bring the myth back to reality. And there are some other factors also, like for instance, Manohar Sardesai, he calls us Goans the world wanderers, okay? Because wherever we are always dispersed, we are always settling here and there. And then there's Peter Nazareth, who said that the Goans like to project their image, which may be true. And there's another couple of writers who said that, who wrote that Goa is obsessed, and here we are talking of the Goan Catholics, okay? I want to make that very clear because I can't generalize. So I speak of what is familiar to me, of what I know. So he says that, or they say, this couple, they are literary critics, and they've written on the Indo-Portuguese history of Goa. And they say that, that Goans are obsessed by God and St. Francis Xavier. So yes, it's true. Actually, he's the one who is one of the factors of our identity. Wherever we are, we connect with St. Francis Xavier. I'm not here to say whether he's good or bad, nor do I do it in my article. But I write objectively, but I write what is generally true about him. And also, there was another thing that I wanted to know is, where does he stand today? We're having an exhibition in November of the relics, the exposition, not exhibition, an exposition of the relics. So I was just wondering, is it still relevant? What does the young crowd of today think about him? So I did a quick survey, and I found that, yes, people of my generation, we've grown up in this tradition of St. Francis Xavier. But even the youngsters in my survey, all of them had heard about him. I spoke to some who are not living here, who are settled abroad. They too have heard. And I spoke also to non-Catholics, non-Christians who live in Goa, who have also heard. So there is this thing about St. Francis Xavier which unites us. Wherever we are, the Catholics especially, they know who he is, they celebrate his day, and it's kind of binds everyone together. Because I have said once, it's not my idea, but it's Benedict Anderson's, that there is something called an imagined community. So, well, we are part of that imagined community. The Goans, wherever they are, they get together and they celebrate Francis Xavier. I won't give you any details, like who was saying just now. Yeah, when we had Bina's book release, I expected to read the article or the whatever and find out for yourselves who he is. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm sorry if my throat sounds bad. It is really bad. I am passionate about my village of Verna. I always feel, how does this village tick? Is it only some elitist caste that works well, or is it all everybody else in the village? And then I got to hear this song written by C. Alvarez for the movie Nirvana, sung by Robin Bush, who's very, vivacious. The song goes like this. Who is the Pool te banlai kone, aura rani? Who has built the bridges for you, the workers, the kunbis? Min ustila kone, Vaura Rani, who has mined for you, the workers, the kunbis. Ranachi Shar Kelai Kone Aura Rani, who has converted forests into cities for you, the workers, the kunbis. Gaon Sudrailai Kone Aura Rani, who has built the beautiful villages for you, the workers, the kunbis. Pulte Banlai Kone Aura Rani, who has built the bridges for you, the workers, the kunbis. However, one line jumped at me. I knew all the rest. I knew about the bridges, I knew about the shara, I knew about all the things. But one line jumped at me. Who is the one who has dug up the mines for you? And it lost me. Were there mines in Salsette? I never heard of mines in Salsette. What exactly was it referring to? Who are they referring to? Which kunbis are these who used to work in the mines? And our answer, which kunbis were these? Did they belong to my village of Verna? Did the mining areas of Sankeli and Advalpale have kunbis as their laborers? I decided to go around asking. A tavern at 7 in the evening is the right place and the happiest place to meet laborers back from work, enjoying a peg or two before they go back home. I question, do you know any of these people from our village who could have worked in the mine some years back? Great big smiles. You have reached a bit late. These older people, most of them are dead. There are chuckles all around. But as they see my very disappointed look, the discussion widens. The taverns at 7 are lively places full of people. At last, Francis said, meet Gama the Koloikar. In villages, you have all sorts of monikers. You call people all sorts of things. My family, for some reason, is called Kotet, and we still don't know why. Don't you know where he lives? Yes, I know him very well. Nicolau Gama lives very far on the border of the village of Verna and the adjoining village of Nube. I drag my very reluctant son and we go to Nicolau's house, situated in the serene surroundings with paddy fields on every side and a garden with areca palms and pepper growing in profusion. pleasantry is done, I quickly plunge and straighten. Niklaus, did you ever work in the mines? Oh, he hums and falls for a minute, and I can see it is an uncomfortable question. I was too young to work in the mines, a young boy. My father worked in the Sirsai mines. He glances at me for a moment. It is not as you think, he says. It is not as if my father went alone. Our entire family moved on to the mines. I am astounded. The entire family. He realizes I really am interested, so he goes on. We closed and locked our small houses. We took everything with us, utensils, bedding, rice, clothes, everything. And we went to Sirsai. We had very little possessions of our own. The hamlets where we Kunibis lived were practically empty. Maybe some elderly people lingered on, some old and too tired to undertake such a long journey. But by and large, everyone. The story of my village is very interesting if you really take the trouble to know how other people lived. What did they do? What hardships they went through. And for that, you'll have to buy the book and read it.
Thank you. Sheela has put me into this very unhappy job of keeping time. Yeah, I just wanted to say, because, now we are back completely immersed in Goa, is that when I came at least from soulless Delhi to soulful Goa, it was a leap of faith, and it was a love affair that doesn't seem to be diminishing. And the first thing that I did notice, and I met so many women here today as well, but the first thing you see is so many independent women who are living here, who have made career choices in the middle ages of their age lives, who have completely shifted. And I was trying to find an answer as to why women are flocking to Goa from different parts of the country, some Goans who have returned, others. And you realize they get respect, they get security, and they're not judged. And when you're not judged and you feel you're safe, it is very liberating and beautiful. So now I'll invite Deepa George, followed by Salil Chaturvedi, to say a few words on the book and the anthology. Deepa.
Okay, I'm going to keep it really short. My account was really my own personal experience of moving from Pali Hill to Panari, as I called my article. Essentially, I believe that any and every place can be made your own if you pour your heart into it. And only if you're really willing to, extend your hand, extend your heart, and get to know the culture, the people, and truly integrate with the land and the community is when you truly belong. And one can belong anywhere if one just pours your heart into it. That's it.
I think Salil Chaturvedi hasn't been able to come. So I'm going to ask Joanna Lobo for a reading. 2 minutes.
Hi everyone. As she mentioned, I'm one of those independent women who also made the trip back to Goa, or rather the return back to her homeland after living in Bombay for 15 years. So my story, or rather essay, is called A Bomaikar in Goa. Before I read it, I just want to very quickly say I am very proud of being part of the Goa Writers Group, and also of having an essay published in Ways of Belonging, which, if any of you know, is a book of poems by easily one of my most famous relatives, Eunice D'Souza. So having my name besides Ways of Belonging is quite a thrill. Sorry, I'm nervous, so my voice is shaking. A Bomaikar in Goa. Her name was Luelle. We bonded over a shared name, her birth one, and my middle one, and convent-educated English accents. As a shy and misunderstood teenager, awkwardly dealing with growing pains, I admired her confidence. She had poise and carried herself with pride that reflected in good posture. We were the same age, but she seemed older, more mature. Her fashion sense wasn't conservative or understated, and went beyond the frilly dresses and petticoats I had to wear. She spoke well too, each word serving its purpose, and with no unnecessary fillers. Her English was the cultured kind, and one that hinted at a good education, better opportunities, and more life experience. She embodied the confidence and freedom that I, a mere village girl, had only encountered between the pages of books and in English serials. I think I had a crush on her. It wasn't anything romantic, I just wanted to be her. I grew up in a tiny village called Kamurli in the north of Goa. It was far from the beaches and nightlife that gave this little state its badge of popularity. I had a normal childhood. Though I was born in Pune and my parents lived in Dubai for a brief while, my childhood was spent in Kamurli. We went for long walks through muddy fields, jostled for space in crowded and creaking buses, stole fruit from trees, and spent our evenings doing homework in our balcony. My house was old. We had a big garden, a telephone that didn't always work, a spotty Doordarshan connection, a tiled roof regularly broken by monkeys, and a cramped library. It was a time before internet and cable TV, so our connection to the outside world was through school and bazaar visits. As a joint family of proud Catholics, the village church was our playground, our temple, our hangout spot, our school, and our source of entertainment. The biggest religious celebration of the year was the feast of our patron saint, Saint Rita de Cassia, celebrated in May. The summer months meant holidays from school, and we could be part of all those celebrations. It was also the time we welcomed, with much enthusiasm, that rare species from out of town, the Bomaikars. Luel was a Bomaikar, and I wanted to be her. 2 decades later, I achieved that dream. Work got me to Bombay, and I became a Bomaikar, and I hated it. For the rest, you'll have to buy the copy. Thank you.
We'll ask Melinda Makimani to recite her poem. Okay, it's a 2-minute meditation.
Many of us know of animals around us, but we always, we don't want the ants in our house, and we don't want the monkeys disturbing the tiles on the roof. And so we have this concept of this is ours, and these people, these animals and plants also, and insects, especially insects, my God, the amount of moths we have seen anyway. So we feel that this doesn't belong to them, and we want all our house to be, insect free, and there should be no animals. So I have written about the perspective that I have showcased in my poems is this. Now I want to give you a small glimpse about what it can mean to step into the shoes of another. I'm going to take you there. So are you all willing? Just give me a thumbs up if you are. Thank you. So we are going to do this. We are going to sit, and if you feel safe, close your eyes. If you don't feel safe, it's okay. Keep your eyes open. I won't be doing any tricks here. So close your eyes if you feel safe, and just imagine, since we are doing an Aboli themed launch, imagine an Aboli in front of you, maybe 5 feet in front of you. Imagine another Aboli 5 feet at your back. To your right side, an Aboli 5 feet to the right, and to your left, an Aboli flower 5 feet to your left. Now you're surrounded by 4 flowers. Allow these flowers to join. Imagine an Aboli above your head, and now you are in this beautiful pyramid. It's a safe space. Imagine an Aboli a few feet below your feet, and now you're perfectly safe. this is your safe space. This is where you belong. I want you now to imagine someone you love. This person, animal, or even idea that you love, just imagine it. Let it be outside your pyramid. Feel it enter your pyramid and feel your heart open. And now, allow your heart to invite someone, an animal, a human, whom you consider the other, whom you don't like. Where do you find this other? Outside your pyramid? Are you able to open your heart to receive the other or not? Whatever your heart allows you to do is perfectly fine. Just stay with that feeling. This is another way of belonging. Thank you.
Thank you. Slide, you're just going to shift the program a little bit. There was going to be the launch now with a wrap up by the others. We'll do the launch at the end because we can then take a photograph of all the writers alongside. So I'm going to ask Pantaleo Fernandez and then Frederick Norona to speak. Are they here? Yeah. This is literally a lot of work done also by Frederick, so we hope we will get insights into editing, publishing the works.
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware I was supposed to speak, but since my name is cropped up, I have written about a short story where taking people to a remote village in Goa, where the communities, different communities live in perfect harmony, perfect unity. So I've spoken about a Catholic family that celebrates Christmas and it wants to have a competition, and a Hindu boy wants to participate, so he approaches the parish priest and they agree and it works. So this is what I have mentioned, but then in practical ways, I am from Benauli, I go for a walk every evening on the beach, but surprise your brother, regretfully I don't step into the water because the water is full of E. coli bacteria brought about by the huge migration of people to Goa. The waters are not treated, so we are deprived of our waters. When you walk on the sand barefooted, which we used to do, we are very scared because suddenly you find spots of red, which is the spittle of pan, and you don't know whether are we too generous to open our arms wide to the whole world, to the rest of the country, or not. So these questions keep bothering me. So when we say belonging, yes, we have to belong to each other. The world, every human being belongs to each other. But at the same time, we have sometimes to ponder. Thank you.
Frederick.
Okay, nothing about writing. Just a word about publishing. I want to tell you the bad news to the Lit Fest. It's still very difficult to get published in Goa. And this is an issue which we've been struggling for the last 25, 30 years. And it's not changed much. So what I liked about this book is that it is a second book where we are trying to create a collaborative model of publishing. So the publisher does no work. And of course he gets little or no money, which is fine. So all the work was done by the group. They have edited the book. I'm trying to put together a model which kind of bases itself on collaborative kind of functioning. This is not new. In Kerala, they had cooperatives which were being run of writers, like, in the 50s and 60s and things like that. So I hope it will work. There are very promising signs. Yeah, we have to finish in 2 minutes, so that's it. And the last point I want to make, some people said buy the book. You don't even have to buy the book, because if you don't buy it, you'll probably get a free copy sooner or later. So, that's a good side. That's a good side. It works, it works. I mean, what's the problem? Fine.
And now for the launch, Alicia, the youngest member, or the second youngest member of Goa Writers Group. And you want to invite everyone up.
Can all those who have a piece in the anthology come on stage as well, please? I think the stage will take our collective weight. Why don't we test it? Come on. Okay. And this is a photograph you want to get. Come. Yeah, he's taking photographs. Okay. Pamela. Come. Yeah. That's it? Are we all here? Okay. Salil is not here. Okay. I can't sit, sorry. I can sit, but I can't. Come, Pamela, come. Cheers. No, Seema. It's okay.